Ready, guys? Here we go. The council meeting of August 4th, 2020 is called to order. I think it's probably about my turn to do the pledge, isn't it? All right, let's stand up for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, guys. Donna, can you do the roll call, please?
I will. Member Bode,
Here.
Mayor Dorsey,
Here.
Councilmember Feast,
Here.
Councilmember McDowell,
Present.
Councilmember Inesco,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Peterson,
Here.
Councilmember Schmidt.
Here.
Okay. Move on to the consent agenda. Does anybody, well, first of all, does anybody have any late changes to the agenda? Okay.
No.
Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda as published?
Motion to approve the consent agenda as published.
All right.
Second.
All right. Thank you. All in favor? There's a motion to approve the consent agenda as published. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. Jeff, you want to make an announcement on the public comment?
I do, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. I would like to let everybody know in the audience that's watching that as soon as our staff member, Mr. Dose, is finished with his presentation, we will have the ability and there will be an opportunity for the public to comment. And my telephone number and my email should be readily available on the screen and in the information materials that we've provided to the public to announce this meeting. And with that.
All right. Let's move on to the business agenda. The only business item we have tonight is a grant for the Shoreline Master Program Periodic Review. Senior Planner Jason Dose has the details for us.
All right. Thank you, council members. As a little bit of background, the Shoreline Management Act was adopted by the state of Washington legislature back in the early 70s. It followed, all the, what I consider the great environmental laws and regulations that kind of came out of the 60s, Clean Water Act, Clean Air Act, State Environmental Policy Act, and the Shoreline Master Program came out of all that same era, where basically the citizens were saying, government needed to be a little more responsible in its handling and permitting in natural areas because the citizens were seeing unconsolidated growth that really wasn't paying attention to the environmental benefits that these resources provide. Anyway, following that, the city adopted its first Shoreline Master Program in 1975. We didn't update it again until 1995, and we didn't update that again until 2013. That was the last time I performed what they consider a comprehensive update, and that means you're essentially overhauling the entire document. And that was a very belabored process. It took us, if I remember right, about 4 years, 4 years to get through that process, and we did it both in 95 and in the 2013 update. We did it with very substantial grants in the form of, I believe, pretty close to 6 digits, if I remember, from the Department of Ecology to help with staffing, mapping, consulting, these sorts of things. Well, when the legislature, they didn't want to continually provide these big dollars, and just leave communities hanging and require we update them every 20 years. So when in 2003, when they passed Senate Substitute Bill 6012, they wrote into the legislation that local counties, cities, whatever, anyone operating under the Growth Management Act has to update their master program every 8 years. Well, it's our turn. So I've been working with Department of Ecology, filled out what they call the periodic review checklist. I can tell you that upon initial review, I don't expect this to be a really much of a game-changing process at all. mean, to give you an example of some of the changes we're going to be implementing, one that comes to mind includes the definition of development. Well, under the old definition, you would think demolition of structures is development. I found out through the reuse of the mill site a few years back, we were going to require a shoreline permit for the demo process. I was informed by ecology staff, no, that definition has changed. Demolition does not require a shoreline permit. So anyway, it's things like that. These aren't real big changes. But anyway, ecology is offering us $16,800 to help with staff time. We'll have to get some minor mapping done, I'm sure. It almost inevitably comes out of the process. But I, quite honestly, may not even expend that whole amount, to be honest. That's how simple of an update I'm anticipating this would be. In any event, it's a no match grant. So we would get that free and clear from ecology. They don't require a match of any kind from the local jurisdiction because this is a mandated update. We do not have a choice in this update. You do it, but at least they're providing us the funding to help do the update. What I'm recommending is that we place this on the August 18th meeting, the action agenda, which would authorize the mayor then to sign on behalf of the city to accept the grant.
I would be happy to do that.
I'm glad.
Okay, well, I guess at this time we'll pause for 30 seconds, or would you rather go a minute?
I think with the announcement at the beginning of the agenda item, Mr. Mayor, that 30 seconds would probably be
Okay.
sufficient.
Okay, I'm timing us for 30 seconds.
I'm sorry, Jason, how much did you say that money was?
16,800.
Okay, thank you.
Can we ask questions if we have any questions during this 30 seconds, or should we just wait?
No, I think that you can.
Okay, anybody have anything to ask Jason?
We're not making any changes right now. This is just for the grant, correct?
Correct. Yeah, I haven't even brought the changes to you, and I plan on presenting them so that it basically connects the dots. These are all updates the legislature has done to the Growth Management, not the Growth Management Act, the Shoreline Management Act, that isn't in our current plan. Essentially, what we're doing is bringing it up consistent with state law. That's the intent.
Mr. Mayor, that's 30 seconds.
All right. So the staff is asking us to move this along to the action agenda for the August 18th meeting. We all concur?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes.
I concur.
Yes.
Well, there are no action items to discuss, so we'll move to the administration reports. Jeff, will you give us your city manager report, please?
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. A couple things I wanted to note for this evening. The first is that we are going to issue the Shelton Stream, the quarterly newsletter that we instituted middle of last year. We did not get our July update out because we were being very careful with our resources, but we will be able to get that out and enhance the communications with our citizens through the utility billing for the October utility bill. That's something that is a priority for council, that we communicate early and often with people of the community. So we're prioritizing making sure that happens in October. I am very pleased to report to council that we're moving forward with the software upgrades that have been mentioned in a couple of previous meetings. The very first software component that we're looking to upgrade is our geographic information system, and that will provide us with the ability to have our files electronically rather than in a paper record. And it also will provide us the ability to display those infrastructure items that are of vast importance to the development community when they look at a piece of property and decide whether they want to invest in Shelton. If they have a lot of the information right there at their fingertips, it makes their investment decisions much easier to determine, rather than spending time down at the counter here with us or on the phone they can find out a lot of information early and upfront. And I think that will be a benefit to our economic development efforts. Further, as we move further along, we are going to implement the ability soon to pay for utilities with your credit card right over the internet. You'll also have the ability with that to look at your utility usage on a daily basis. We're buying that module as well. So we're implementing that for the ease and convenience of our residents and our customers. Hopefully that will make at least a small difference in the lives of everybody in our community. Purchasing, dog licenses, all the little things that you deal with the city with, we want to make that as easy as we possibly can. So that's what we're working toward. And there's more to come on that front. We're looking at the enterprise resource, or I'm sorry, the asset management system. And that will be one of the next items that come up, and the online permitting system, along with a program called Bluebeam that allows us to do online plan review and everything else. I'm stealing a little bit of thunder from our coworkers, our employees that participated in the Lean project. And I know that it's very important for me to get those folks in front of you because they spent a lot of time and worked really hard on an idea and a concept to help make us much more efficient when we're processing development permits. Unfortunately, we haven't been able to meet in person for a while. So that's going to wait a little bit, but I did want to mention to all of the council and anybody watching that our employees are working very hard to make it convenient and easy to invest in the city. And lastly, I do want to mention that we will have our 2021 budget kickoff. The staff's been working on it for a while now, but we'll be sharing things with council at a work session on October 18th at 5 p.m. That's our next council meeting, and have the ability to have council ask any questions that they might have and learn a little bit more about where we're headed in 2021 and staff implementing your priorities. With that, that's all I have. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Want to have any questions? I see that Mr. Moody has joined us. Does he have something for us tonight? Can you hear me?
I heard you. I don't know. I'm waiting for my boss to tell me I have something for you tonight.
No, there's nothing I had on the agenda. I think he's just participating in the meeting, right, Darren? We'll have something for you at the next council meeting.
You had asked for something prior, Jeff, on crime stats regarding.
There was one of our council members had asked if there was a significant jump in domestic violence over the term of the pandemic, and I had shared with them the stats that you shared with council during our briefings, the stats that you had provided me with. There hasn't been a significant jump through all the COVID stuff. But if you have anything else you'd like to add, feel free.
No, we went through all the domestic violence cases year to date this year as we did year to date last year in comparison, and there was 2 more cases this year than previously. So we really haven't seen the significant jump that some people are reporting. And in fact, crime statistics overall for the 6 months to date, I don't see any really any large jumps or drops either way for the first 6 months.
Cool. All right, thanks, Chief. So I guess the announcement of the next meeting is August 18th, 2020 at 6 o'clock. This meeting is adjourned at what, 6:14.